Hi, this is Ming-Na Wen, and you're listening to Fanatics and the Fan.
I mean, we live in that world now.
I'm gonna get my news broadcaster on and not wear pants.
Or is this pod person Gary? Do we have a pod person plan too?
I mean,
No, I'm way more messed up than pod person Gary.
Well, we also have to realize, I mean, are you dealing with the alternate universe evil Keith, since I have the goatee already, or
Is it really an alternate universe evil Keith or an alternate universe eviler Keith?
and which one is the more scarier one, to be honest with you?
oh, the one that says things like, sure, I'll get it right to you.
That's right, folks. This is another great edition of Fanatics and Fan. We got something special going on for the next two shows. In honor of Black History Month, I have reached out to all of my favorite Black nerds in our area. I'd say they need no introduction, but they're some of the greatest people ever. I'm going to start with the last one on from Real Otaku Gamer. Andre, how have you been, my friend?
I have been, yeah. We're just gonna go with that. I've been, yeah, that's what I've been.
One of my favorite all-time gamers, cosplayers, and honestly, I would say the next generation of nerd, but he's a little older than that. He don't want to admit it. He don't want me to admit it. Carrying a lot more grade than he should. What up, Will?
Hey yo, people. It is good. I'm glad we say this every time. We should do this more than once a year, but I'm glad that it's back around. So we have these chances to go and celebrate and talk with some good nerds and good friends.
He is a entertainment genius. He works more jobs than one man should have to. And he is a walking encyclopedia of Hollywood information. Please welcome back to the show, my friend Keith. When you speak, Keith, you need you to say something, dude.
Are you that chill? Evil Keith.
No, he's relishing in that. That's what he's relishing.
Yeah, I know. I need to hear that a lot more. Is there a paycheck with that one?
And last but not least,
it's
honestly,
blank,
one of the most talented Black nerds I know. And man, clearly, if you look at his background, he has way too much money to knows what he to do with. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Gary.
Hello, everybody.
Still one of my all-time favorite, as far as nerd backgrounds, Gary's background is still by far my favorite.
Actually, I wish I could turn more this way so you can see more of the other wall.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
is that not?
I look at that and I think I'm shopping. Yeah,
right?
Let's turn it the other way. I need to see what else I can fit in my sack.
Bring a big one. Bring a big one, right?
And my nerd heart grew 3 sizes that day.
How are my Black nerd friends doing this lovely day?
Well, it's February. That means officially we can do whatever we want, right? Isn't that what
right?
that means?
Yes.
I wanted to bring up. So I was not trying to make this that kind of show, but ironically, something happened I didn't think was going to happen. Raising Dion came back for another amazing season. A story that I did not expect. Now, and you know how you go into that third season, you're like, damn, I don't think I'm gonna like this third season. To me, they didn't jump the shark already. They made some decisions that I wasn't a fan of, but I will still follow them. The young man that's playing Dion, damn. I couldn't be prouder of raising Dion.
Okay, so I saw the first season. Haven't had a chance to go through and see the second. But the question is, just in regards to age, like how much time is passing between that? So it's like it's been 2 years,
2 years. 2 years.
Okay, because I saw the kid and went, "Ooh, he grew."
He a little big for a 10-year-old. I will say he a little big for a 10-year-old.
Hey, you know, having watched Lost, you have to get used to those.
Oh wow.
You know, so
I guess I need to check this out. I haven't seen this show yet.
Raising Dion was one of Michael B. Jordan's brilliant ideas. And as far as black nerds can go, I think that we ought to put him on the $1 bill right there. Michael B. Jordan is
wasn't that a
leading the
comic
charge.
first? Well, Raising Dion was a comic first, correct?
Yes.
Like an ending title. Who did that title? Was that Jordan who did that?
No, he brought the title to Netflix. I don't know who did it. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I'll find out in like 10 seconds.
Sweet.
it's called Google, my friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Google.
You know what? Michael B. Jordan definitely has put it out there.
Dennis Liu.
Yes.
And the show was created by Carol Barbie.
With Michael B. Jordan's, he's executive producing it.
Oh, maybe she did the book. Hold on.
Nice.
Oh, she helped create the show. She helped create the show.
There's a lot of people involved.
She's a producer. Gotcha.
Like I said, oh my God. I sat down, you know how some first season will leave you tentative of that second season.
Mm-hmm.
Lost in Space. I was very tentative in Lost in Space.
I didn't mind it.
I was
like
tentative.
Lost in Space.
You know,
I
I was
loved it.
tentative of the second season of The Boy.
I've loved all of that stuff. You know, it's look, we are right now, we have some really, really good shows that offer incredible examples of people of color doing some exciting things.
Mhm.
Some of it, you know, really, really cool. And some of it written in a way that I really need to get my 5-year-old niece on this because, you know, she could probably do a better job. But I'm looking right at you, STD. But it's just, this is good. You know, now with Michael B. Jordan, I agree. He's definitely one of those voices and names that he seems to be out there, you know, trying to not only produce projects that allow him as a working actor to have the ability to be able to do what he loves, but as a producer to helping projects make it in front of people and to entertain them. I still think his best work is yet to be seen.
Right.
And what he's doing with Reginald Hudlin, I don't know if they're still together, but the whole Milestone thing has the potential to become even bigger than what anybody else has ever put together. Because even Marvel, as great as they are as a comic book publisher, never put together.
No.
Wait. We got a Keith fail on the screen.
What do you mean?
That Keith, turn that comic around.
No. He's keep going. I understand.
Keep going. I should go grab mine. I've got the entire run of whatever going all Milestone stuff. Yeah, man.
Yeah. This is what I was about to say is even Marvel, for everything that they've been able to accomplish, never got around to having an imprint that was for people of color, or at least made by people of color. They never got around to doing it.
R.I.P. Dwayne McDuffie.
First question I want to ask this panel, because this is one of the funniest things that ever happened to me. So
Hey, question time.
A couple of weeks ago, Jay Farrell was in town.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
If you have not seen a Jay Farrell comedy show, take your blood pressure medicine, take your heart medication, take some Tylenol, go in there as healthy as you possibly can. I laughed so hard, I started grabbing my chest like Fred Sanford, and the dude got worried. Mind you, I got reserved seats, so I'm sitting in front of him. And he looked at me like, "You all right, brother?"
Damn.
But I brought that point to bring up this. At some point during the show, I looked over at my date. I'm like, "Oh my God, this man is a nerd."
Oh yeah.
Because you could just listen to how he talks and his man. But to me, it was the greatest discovery ever. I'm like, when he brought up the turtles, I'm like, "Oh shit, he's one of us."
Oh yeah. Oh, Jay-Z's a nerd. Jay-Z's a nerd.
Mhm.
So that's my question.
They're all
What?
nerds.
Tell me one of your favorite black nerd discoveries. You're like, "Oh man, He's a nerd. For me, it was Jay Farrell because it was the coolest thing ever. It was like a bonding moment between me and him while he was on stage talking about the Turtles.
Well, black nerd, I'd have to go with Dwayne Johnson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He is also so it'd be Michael B. Jordan and The Rock as our Mount Rushmore right now, and he's doing it.
Yeah.
I'm actually looking forward to Black Adam.
You should be. In fact, I will slide everyone this little piece here. Make sure you are taking your heart medicine in April, okay? Because there are about to be some announcements. You know how I was always saying the last time I was here, how there's about to be a red wedding at one of these studios. Judgment Day will come a little early because they were originally predicting June. It's looking more and more like it's going to be April.
Okay.
And there are about to be some major announcements, some of which will reverse a lot of the announcements that we've been getting the last couple of months. Certain projects will be stopped in their tracks, and other things, other whole networks will be affected. And when I say a network, I mean a network whose letters rhyme with CW.
They need it.
No. I mean, major changes.
They
Let's
need
just
it.
say somebody's getting out of the CW business and they're taking all of their programming with them to HBO Max. But it isn't just to move it, it's to change it. All of it will be different.
Oh, so they're going home to daddy. I got you.
All right.
Yeah, well, they're fixing
Business
all of
daddy.
the problems.
Business daddy. Business
All right,
daddy.
Will.
All right. It's not a I got you, but like, oh, I found you. But I want to say I do want to go and shout out to Childish Gambino, Danny Glover.
Yes.
That
Damn.
right there. That right there. That Childish Gambino, Mr. Glover, that to me was the coolest thing. After doing Community, you had to have known he was a nerd. You had to have known he was a nerd.
All you had to do was watch his stand up.
Oh, jeez.
All you had to do was watch his stand up. You could tell.
Is there a more talented dude?
And no, it's like triple threat, like boom, and that and it's because we've talked about this before in the past. He's unapologetically nerdy, and I can appreciate that from where we've come from.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gary.
It's kind of a toss-up because I have to say like MF Doom and members of the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, of course.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, but definitely MF Doom. Like, especially like when I listen to Mad Villainy and like all the samples and stuff that he had in it. I'm telling you, MF Doom is your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. That's like what they say. And
R.I.P.
R.I.P. If you haven't listened to Mad Villainy, listen to it from beginning to end. Like, don't shuffle it, none of that crap. Just listen to it from beginning to end, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Dre.
You got two right here. Just Blaze.
Nice.
And Lupe Fiasco.
Yeah.
Oh,
when Lupe Fiasco threw Lupin the Third, and I was like, oh hell yeah. It's something I always knew. I'm like, man, everybody, we're all nerds. Every brother that's in entertainment is a nerd.
Well, especially when he did Daydreaming, and he's talking about like the giant mech stuff and all that.
Right.
It's like, see, he made like the Transformers Z reference, and I was like,
what? I was like, yeah. It was like Just Blaze is like Jay-Z got on him because they were doing a set for a video, and he was going to game stores looking at buying old vintage video games and stuff. And he buys Transformers.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know Taboo from the Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah.
He has like the biggest wrestling action figure collection ever.
Yes.
Awesome. Really?
Insane. Yeah. He's a huge dork, man.
Yeah.
And Will I Am, same thing, man. He did a comic for
Will
Marvel.
is all about. He was all about Voltron.
Yeah. It's nuts. Like hip hop artists, like 95 to 99% of those guys are nerds, and they just do something different than like what the rest of us do. You know, it's like all those guys reference stuff like Voltron, and I mean, hell, even MF Doom had a song called Cookies, and it was like he rapped over funky chimes from Sesame Street.
Right.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, man. It's like these guys just had like no cable. A lot of them, you know, they lived in the Bronx or whatever, and so they got all that stuff from the cartoons and all this stuff they watched, and then they started putting it into their albums. And these guys still love that stuff to this day.
Oh, it's hard not to love that. Actually, thinking about it, Pharrell Williams, you know.
Yep.
Pharrell's
another nerd. He's another nerd.
Oh man, he's
Yes.
a nerd.
Kanye West.
Kanye,
total
yeah.
nerd. Yeah, his video Stronger, that's Akira.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if you really want to get into it, in Michael Jackson's Scream,
Yes.
the anime character in that is from Zillion.
Yeah, and there's an Akira shot in that too.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, so everybody's a nerd. We just didn't, we
Oh
couldn't.
yeah, they slipped it under the radar.
Now black nerd is a thing, and we've been that for our whole
So
lives.
long,
But
yes.
As a matter of fact, so that leads me to a question that I wasn't going to ask. I was going to try to read across the country. I've been dying to ask you this. The lack of black representation in anime has always been a problem for me, except for when I was very young and didn't care. Okay. But at some point, there's a disappointment involved. And I guess my first example is Robotech. It was a long time before I ever realized there was like one or two people that were black in Robotech.
right.
And it wasn't even, and they were never voiced by a black person.
No.
It was always, so where do you guys feel we stand when it comes to, or what is the problem? As far as
I'll tell you
as
this right
minority-
now. The best black anime character is Jet Black from Cowboy Bebop.
Yep.
It really is, man. It really, really is.
Well played. Trump.
I'm Kramer. I officially put my $50 on the table and I'm leaving.
Oh,
You know what? No, I mean, when it comes to representation in anything, I think the one thing that has been ignored, unfortunately, is our ability to be able to create for ourselves. That's how we got here. And while I am happy that representation is important and that we are doing it through many things, I think in certain respects, we also have to balance it with our ability to be able to create for ourselves. What makes Milestone Media different, not just the comics, the fact that they form their own studios, that they're going out and they're wanting to not only just return to comics, they want to do television, they want to do films. That's the reason why Michael B. Jordan signed up with them. What has surprised me is the lack of support for doing the rest of that. Where's everyone else? Where is everyone else following behind Michael B. Jordan to sign up to help bring a lot of that stuff to life?
A lot of it is just a lot of we're still in the man. Black people don't watch that. Black people don't, black men don't read comic books. No.
Right.
And we're still on that. And our whole culture is we're still on that. I'm like,
well, Andre, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
It's better.
That same vein.
It's gotten
Along
better.
that same vein,
Yeah,
Dre,
it's
let me
gotten
ask you
better.
this.
but it's still there. I fully admit, it's still there.
Along that same vein, and this is just me. When I jump on to a video game, given a choice of characters, I'm looking for at least one black character, and a lot of video games don't have none. Do you feel like our representation in the gaming industry has changed in any way?
Well, you've got to
it's baby steps. Baby steps. Baby steps. We're about, trust me, I've been in this business for 40 years. We're looking at maybe 20% growth.
Yeah.
And I'm serious. And that's in 40 years.
And honestly, there isn't much of a jump between now and like Barrett from Final Fantasy VII.
I'll put it this way. I was at, and we were talking about this during the George Floyd thing. We had one of my buddies had a podcast. We're a bunch of the black creators, a lot of black game creators. We all got on the podcast, and we were talking about our experiences. And I'm like, well, I remember going to E3. like the second E3 in '96, and I was at Konami. I was at Konami. I'll say I was at Konami. I'm not gonna tell you who I was talking to, but I asked the guy. I was like, "Hey, so what's up with the characters? So you got a little character creation here in this game, and that's cool, but where are the black characters?" And my buddy was with me, and I was talking to the developer, and my buddy was like, "Hey, man, this guy's he's kind of on something." I'm like, "All right, whatever, man, whatever. He's on one, whatever." So I asked the guy, I said, "So are you thinking about putting any black characters in this game before the game comes out?" And the guy literally goes, "Don't you guys have everything?" And I went, "No, we don't have anything. That's why I'm asking." And my buddy that was with me was like, "Dude," he's like, "Man," told the guy, like, "Man, just go. I'll talk." He said this to my face, and I was like, dude, we're not even close.
Wow.
I'm sitting there interviewing the guy, and the guy just comes out. I'm like, where did he get that we have everything?
Yeah.
I think Black History Month just started.
and to be like,
this guy passed
the balls.
He had the balls
to your face.
He had the balls to say that to my face. And I'm like, dude, I've been in this business since the 80s. David Crane, the creator of Pitfall, gave me my first job. And you sitting there telling me, I go to CES, I go to E3, I go to all these independent shows. They fly me out to go to different places. And I haven't seen black people there until like 99, 2000. That's when I saw my first person of color working at a game company.
Have you ever met Mike Pondsmith?
No.
Because I mean, given the fact that his company, basically created Cyberpunk,
right?
The game,
right?
The fact that the video game doesn't really feature a lot of us, let alone people that look like us as lead characters within the video game. I mean, that definitely shows you that when someone of his stature and intelligence, and trust me.
Yeah, I know he is. I've never met him.
Yeah. But I mean, to everyone watching this, you need to read up on how intelligent this guy actually is.
Yes.
Okay. His bio, basically, I could almost give up now, because I can't even come. I don't think anybody that I've ever heard of could come close to matching what this guy has done. And yet it took me years to find out, about this man.
Yeah.
And I had already played the Cyberpunk role-playing game, and I think I found out about him maybe about 8 or 9 years after I'd already played the game. Had no idea that was a black man that created all of that.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this. Sticking with video games, because I'm correct me if I'm wrong, we're all pretty much some sort of video game gamer here in this collective, correct?
Yeah.
Welcome a video game.
We all got strong thumbs now, right?
Got calluses on my thumb now. No.
I think Andre's gonna need carpal tunnel surgery before too long.
Here's a name for you guys: Gerald Anderson Lawson.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
We just did my buddy just did a book on him, and he's doing a podcast about him right now. I just talked to his son the other day.
Really?
And I posted up right now.
Gary?
We're talking about the video. We're talking about the Activision merger. And I'm sitting there going, I'm posting on social media. I'm like, there would not be Activision if it wasn't for Jerry Lawson. Yeah. Activision would not exist. Video games as we know it would be completely different if it was not for this man.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Activision was a huge step in the history of video games.
Activision almost didn't happen because companies were trying to figure out a way to make 2600 cartridges, or actually cartridges for the Magnavox, for the Odyssey.
Right.
And basically he's like, oh, because Atari was so kept everything close to the chest and would not give anybody any information about making any kind of games for them. You had to go through them. This was pre-Nintendo. So you had to go through them to get their license for it. And Jerry Lawson was like, oh, I could do that. And he did it, and he figured it out in like a couple of days.
Nice.
Hey, look.
One of the most brilliant men in video games, period.
And he was
Like-
upgrading the graphics, right?
Ralph Baer wanted to give this man an award.
Yeah.
This guy single-handed, and I mean single-handedly. It wasn't a team because there was nobody on his team but him. It was just him. And they were all like, what is he doing? They threw him in a garage. Here, man, go back here and tinker. And he came back and saved the entire industry.
See, if
He
you don't know
created
who
it.
Ralph Baer is, for those
Right.
of you out there,
Right.
you need to understand how big of a compliment that is.
Ralph,
Okay.
man, I'm
And-
sorry. Ralph Baer invented video games. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, he
Man,
did. He did.
He invented it. I'm sorry.
Veteran.
Yep.
Who came back from the war and taught himself all this stuff by attending classes, only to have his idea ripped off successfully by some
who
who then decided to call his game something different after he ripped it off and called it Pong.
Yep.
Not gonna point out any names, but there's a
the
reason
original
why.
the original video game was TV tennis.
Yep.
It
So
wasn't
Pong
Pong.
was a ripoff.
It wasn't
All
Pong.
the money
it was
he
TV
used
tennis.
from that, he ended up buying into various other things, like a whole restaurant chain built around a rat.
Right.
So I don't give my money to anything
Very
his
smart.
ill-gotten goods goes to.
I mean, check out. I'm gonna look up the link from my buddy's podcast, man. I mean, if you do not know who Jerry Lawson is, you need to. You need to. I mean, it's just his
Well,
son
I mean,
is. If you look up anything black in gaming, actually a lot of my friends just got the awards for the Black in Gaming Award, and the actual award is actually a motherboard with the Fairchild System cartridge on it. It's a Jerry Lawson Award, and that's
so
what you.
cool.
Nice.
It's so dope, man. It's so dope. He's man. I mean, and a lot of people just found out him about 10 years ago.
Wow.
And it's just crazy how how things happen.
it is crazy. It's crazy how much we really don't know or doesn't get celebrated, you know. The very fact that you can have voices within the entertainment industry or within the comics industry or even in literature that are still have yet to be discovered, even though we are taking steps right now. Steps are being taken right now to change a lot of things. You still got people that are hung up on whether or not we gonna have a Black Superman movie. And we got Icon over here with nobody interested
Well, me.
in turning that into a movie. So
Well,
It's called the podcast is called Raising the Game.
Raising the game.
Raising
Go
the
ahead,
Game.
Will. I know. You said something that sparked Will, and I know what he's getting ready to say. Go ahead, Will.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
well, in regards to Icon movie, watch out. That could be problematic. I would still watch it, but it could be problematic from just from the subject matter, because I can go and see someone corrupting that and just using it for the whole bootstrap paradox. Look, I pulled myself up from being a slave.
mhm.
You
And-
also
and-
had
and-
superpowers are indestructible.
Yes, you know what? There is that. There's definitely that. But ultimately, the whole story, as we eventually found out when they ended Icon, wasn't so much that he was the lead. It was her in the end. Rocket was really the lead. He was training her to become a hero.
So if I can have more of that, where it's just kind of he's there, but we're going to focus on Rocket and we're going to see her and hey, look, she's a single mother and she's still out doing her stuff and doing her thing. And if I can have that, in fact, I don't want a movie, I want a series. Give me like 3 seasons of that, and I would. Mwah.
And the current people in charge of DC, some of whom are about to lose their jobs, never thought to do any of that. Seriously, they never made moves to do any of that.
Hold on. Here's why. Because this is how stupid they are. The most important thing that they ever had Icon do in their minds was when they first had Icon and Superman fight to a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I've never been hit that hard.
Right.
Here you go. Here you are. You got that. Enjoy. No.
Yeah, and again, they can recognize things, but you never see them at least acknowledge that they even have their own Black Superman in Marvel. You don't hear word one about him.
No, not even.
Blue Marvel.
You can barely find his comic now.
That's right.
Nope.
That tells you a lot right there. You know,
They
Well, and think about this too. Think about how many like black voice actors there are that don't voice black characters.
Yeah.
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 Tons. Well, I mean, Jet Black, like we were talking about earlier,
Right.
you know, like there's a lot of that in anime I noticed too. Well, shit, a lot of it here in Western animation too, where it's like, oh, well, Keith David is a bad example because he does the president on Rick and Morty, but
Right.
you know, he has done characters where it's like, oh, he's playing this character or this other type of character instead. So I always thought that was just interesting.
While we're
The Simpsons.
while we're on the history thing, I mean, it's milestone changed after Dwayne McDuffie died, and that's where everything. I think that's where DC went. Oh well, we can do whatever we want now. We can shelve milestone and just keep on doing what we're doing. And if it weren't for Dwayne, I mean, people don't understand. I mean, Dwayne McDuffie, man, you just don't. When this man died, people don't understand. People around the world mourned. Like, I was like, okay, that's it. Milestone's done.
Yeah.
Milestone's done.
Basically,
I cried for weeks. Milestone's done. I said, there's no way. There's no way. Who's gonna fund Milestone now? What's gonna happen? Because he was the brainchild. I mean, and I tell people now, I said, dude, you wouldn't the DC animated universe would not be what it is right now. Okay, right now it's kind of crap, but at this particular point, it's kind of crap. But the last couple of years, you wouldn't have had all this great stuff if it wasn't for Dwayne McDuffie.
Of course.
So, okay.
I mean, it's just if you ever watch any documentary on him, I mean,
the dude was gifted.
This man was a genius, like on every level.
On every level.
So let's be black people for a hot second, just for the funs of it. Tell me something that sucks right now.
What do you mean?
Everything.
For us, that's a long.
How much time do you have?
You want me to start with A and go to Z, or matter of importance, or what happened yesterday, or?
Okay, so I will go first.
Okay.
I mean, the outline for that has another outline and another one.
I started the third season of Lost in Space, and I think I got 20 minutes in before I started playing Fortnite because it was just that bad to me.
The fact that you had to go to Fortnite makes it really bad.
I have a contrarian view on that. Lost in Space is one of the best revivals I have ever seen, outside of Battlestar Galactica and Cobra Kai. That is one of the best overall revivals. I highly recommend it as a series. Now, if we're talking about shows that feature Black people in it,
I'm just talking to you, but hang on, because you brought up something I need to ask you guys about.
Yeah.
Because Cobra Kai just did something that, oh my Lord, when they introduced that boy and that whole story, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You're talking about pain.
It's a good example of a good revival. I mean, it is hard. It is hard to do that. It is hard to take an IP that previously existed and to give it new life, new characters, new direction. I mean, we're watching, the dichotomy. We're watching the best stuff with Battlestar Galactica and Cobra Kai and Lost in Space, in my opinion. And then you're able to swing it over to the other side and see how badly Star Trek is being treated right now. the awful stories, the bad characterizations, even though they're spending money left, right, and center on something that is just a flaming pile of I don't know what.
Heath, let me tell you a secret. The best Star Trek show is the Orville.
That's right.
Yes.
That's what I was going to get to. The Orville, which is coming back.
Yep.
I know.
Yes.
That is a fantastic. See, that's what
It is.
Star Trek should be right now. And they decided not to make it like that because they wanted to have someone who just happened to be a person of color who has magical superpowers in an Iron Man suit and is the key to everything. And it's just like it's hard to just watch that and not want to just take a bullet right to the, I mean, who's writing this stuff?
It's just if I can, this is so bad. I just don't want to watch anything else.
I'm in Fortnite.
I mean,
All
I feel like I need to just get my own agent and fire my agent. That's so bad.
Right.
That's why you stick with Star Wars and Marvel. I don't mess
All right, Will.
with anything else.
All right. So we talk about some MLB Jordan stuff. I have to go and say what's crap right now? Ginlock. So Ginlock is a cartoon.
Is it even good?
No, it's crap.
It's crap from
watched,
get-go.
I watched it, and then once you go and get so far in, you're invested, so you have to go and finish. Man, I hated myself.
Oh my God. So you're trying to find a receipt for the time you spent.
Yeah, if I could have that back. Hey, Mr. Jordan, if you wish to go and reimburse me for my time, hit
For the
me
Jay
up.
and Silent Bob animated series. That's cool.
Oh,
I
man.
want my money back. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he could have stuck with working on Creed or something. Because Gary,
Oh, so what sucks? Actually, I haven't experienced a lot of suck because I dodge stuff like DC shows unless it's Peacemaker, and DC comics and stuff. But I think actually this is a DC thing that sucks because I actually do enjoy their animated stuff before and after the Flashpoint and all that. But Injustice really pissed me off.
really?
The movie,
Man, really? Because I want to.
it was not Injustice. It wasn't Injustice.
They rewrote
Injustice
Injustice.
should have
Hang
been
on,
like.
before you say that point.
Hold on.
Fans know,
Hold on.
They rewrote Injustice. So we were not prepared going into that. We all had our own story that we thought we were going to see, right?
Yeah.
No, Injustice has like all the things that made Injustice were stripped from that movie. Injustice.
Yeah, I don't understand that either.
It should have been 2 or 3 movies long. That's how long it should have been.
Right.
Like it should have been like a trilogy because there's a lot of stuff that happens in Injustice, and it's an ugly, dark, mean story. And they did not do that at all with this.
No.
this
So you
animated
did get an
movie.
ugly, dark, mean story, but you did not get. So I was, the minute I found the game Injustice, I was all in, and I watched the story in the game.
Yeah.
Because to me it's that good.
Yeah,
It's very good. It's very
I
good.
used the movie as a date night because I thought it was going to be that good. I really did because it was supposed to be, right?
I don't know what happened with that, man.
And so
I know what happened with
The
it.
game movie's better than
It's called having bad people run a company right into the ground. The current people currently running Warner Brothers, who are about to lose their jobs, didn't know what they were doing. And it's been like that for a few years.
But my problem with Injustice was you had the script.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was right there.
And that's Gary.
All you do is-
Hang on.
It was right there.
You had 3 scripts.
Yeah. I mean, but
Very
you didn't even have to get into Injustice 2. You didn't even have to get into that at all. You had a whole 2-3 hours right there.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
But let's
Right
go and look at the really bad X-Men stories that they could have gone and adapted.
Right.
Everybody's sleeping with everybody else. The fact that you cannot have a black Captain Marvel and that they're going to call her something else when she does hit film. She's not even going to get her time.
They're not going to call her Captain Marvel.
No, she's binary.
They're just going to call her binary.
They're going to skip right over.
Wait a minute! I thought they were passing the mantle over. Like
No.
she was going to be the new Captain Marvel.
Yeah. They're passing it to the girl to be Miss Marvel. They're going to skip completely over the black.
I thought
Captain
Miss Marvel was I thought Miss Marvel was.
No,
They're skipping right over.
It's a mess.
That's an understatement.
It's a mess.
Oh, come on, man.
Now, in defense of that, I do have to go and say that the character Monica Rambeau, she had like 8. I'm counting like 6 names over the years.
Yeah.
So it's a running joke to go and
Right.
change her name. So if they just skip over to the end of it, I could see that and not having to go do the Captain Marvel. Because the reason that she was Captain Marvel is because Captain Marvel was dead at the time that she took the name and no one had it. So if you do have a character that's already named Captain Marvel in that universe, you can't just go and kind of do that.
Right.
Now, if they kill Carol, Game on.
But on the same token, Binary was just not good.
Binary was female Captain Marvel's name after she stopped being female Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, Warbird, Binary.
Yeah, that's the other one, Warbird.
Back to Captain Marvel.
Yeah. On that note, folks, we're gonna step away. Be sure to check out our next show. These guys, we're still gonna keep talking because Black nerds do that. So for Keith, Will, Gary, and Andre, I am Hawk, and this has been a great episode. Check us out next of Fanatics and the Fan.